What if I told you that one speech given by a Navy SEAL Admiral has been viewed over 10 million times, and its number one piece of advice was make your bed? In 2014, Admiral William H. McRaven, the man who commanded the operation that took down Osama bin Laden, stood before 8,000 graduates at the University of Texas and delivered one of the most powerful commencement speeches ever recorded. That speech became the book Make Your Bed, Small Things That Can Change Your Life and Maybe the World. Today, I'm breaking down its 10 lessons straight from the brutal world of Navy SEAL training and showing you exactly how to apply them. Let's dive in. First, quick context. William H. McRaven spent 37 years in the U.S. Navy, rising to 4-star admiral and commander of all U.S. Special Operations Forces. But long before that, he was a student at basic underwater demolition SEAL training. 6 months of cold water, soft sand, and endless suffering designed to break the strongest men on Earth. The instructors told students from day one, only 10% of you will make it. The physical punishment was extreme, but the real test was mental. Because as McRaven discovered, the lessons that carried him through SEAL training are the same lessons that carry all of us through life. Here are 10 of them. Lesson 1, start your day with a task completed. In SEAL training, the first mission of the day was simple. Make your bed, hospital corners, squared to the rack. It seemed ridiculous, but the instructors knew a secret. If you do the little things right, you start doing the big things right. One completed task pushes you to complete the next one and the next. And on your worst days, when nothing goes your way, you come home to a bed that you made. That one small thing gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. If you want to change the world, start off by making your bed. Lesson 2, you can't go it alone. In SEAL training, students carry heavy inflatable boats over their heads and paddle them through towering surf in crews of 7. It doesn't matter how strong you are. You cannot paddle that boat alone. And at night, every SEAL must have a swim buddy because nobody makes it through the dark water by themselves. McRaven's point? None of us are self-made. You need people who paddle with you, and you must be there to stand by them in their darkest moments. If you want to change the world, find someone to help you paddle. Lesson 3, only the size of your heart matters. At Buddhist, nobody cared where you came from, what you looked like, or how big your muscles were. McRaven's class had men of every shape and background, but the crew everyone underestimated was the Munchkin crew, the smallest men in the class. On paper, they had no business competing against the towering athletes. Yet day after day, they paddled past everyone. That's where McRaven learned. It's not the size of your flippers that counts, it's the size of the heart beating underneath them. If you want to change the world, measure people by the size of their heart, starting with yourself. Lesson 4, life isn't fair. Drive on. There's an old Navy tradition called the sugar cookie. Fail a uniform inspection and you had to run fully clothed into the surf, then roll in the sand until you looked like a sugar cookie, and stay that way. Wet, sandy, miserable, all day. One student, an Olympic-level swimmer, Stephen, kept failing inspections no matter how perfect his uniform was. It made no sense. It wasn't fair. And that was exactly the lesson. Sometimes in life, no matter how well you prepare, you still get punished. The students who accepted it moved forward, the ones who complained didn't. If you want to change the world, get over being a sugar cookie and keep moving. Lesson 5, failure can make you stronger. In SEAL training, students who failed the daily physical tests were given a circus, 2 extra hours of brutal calisthenics, designed to wear you down until you quit. The students who got circuses were exhausted and humiliated, but here's the twist. All that extra pain made them stronger. By the end of training, the men who had endured circus after circus were outperforming everyone else. Failure in life is inevitable, but it isn't the end. It's the rehearsal for your comeback. If you want to change the world, don't be afraid of the circuses. Lesson 6, dare greatly. On the SEAL obstacle course stood the slide for life, a long rope stretched high above the water. Every student slid down safely, feet first, hanging on with their hands. But one student did something insane. He flipped around and slid down head first. It was a huge risk. If he fell, he'd fail, but he was falling behind, and he knew that playing it safe wasn't working. He broke the course record, and nobody ever beat it. McRaven learned something that day. Those who live in fear of failure, hardship, or embarrassment never reach their potential. If you want to change the world, sometimes you have to slide down the obstacle head first. Lesson 7. Don't back down from the sharks. During night swims, SEAL students are warned. There are sharks in the water, real ones. The instructions were clear. If a shark begins to circle, do not swim away. Stand your ground. And if it attacks, punch it in the snout as hard as you can until it swims away. Sound familiar? Bullies work exactly like sharks. They feed on your fear, and they retreat the moment you refuse to back down. You will meet plenty of sharks in this world. Face them down. If you want to change the world, don't back down from the sharks. Lesson 8. Be your very best in your darkest moment. One of the final tests of SEAL training is a night dive, navigating under a massive ship in pitch-black water where every sound is amplified. The most dangerous point is passing directly under the keel. The noise is deafening. The darkness is total. Panic there and you drown. SEALs learn to be calm, focused, and at their absolute best. Precisely there. And life works the same way. In your darkest moments, grief, failure, fear, that's exactly when you must rise instead of collapse. If you want to change the world, be your very best when the world is at its worst. Lesson 9. Give people hope. On Wednesday of Hell Week, instructors ordered the class into the freezing mud flats and said they would stay there until only 5 minutes of tide remained. The cold clawed into their bones. Then came the offer: ring the bell, quit, and get warm coffee and a blanket. As the men started to break, one voice in the darkness began to sing, cracked, off key. But then a second voice joined, then another, until the entire class was singing and the instructors lost. One voice giving hope broke the will of the entire training staff. If you want to change the world, start singing when you're up to your neck in mud. Lesson 10. Never ever quit. In the middle of the SEAL training compound stands a brass bell. Any student can ring it 3 times, place their helmet beside it, and quit. No questions asked, just walk away. The training is specifically designed to make you want to ring that bell. So here's the big idea. Making your bed sound small. That's exactly the point. You don't change the world with one heroic act. You change it by doing the small things right every single day until they compound into a life. McRaven puts it this way: the average person meets 10,000 people in their lifetime. If each of us changes the lives of just 10 people, and each of them changes 10 more, within a few generations, that's hundreds of millions of lives changed, all starting from one small, simple act. So tomorrow morning, when that alarm goes off, make your bed, then see what happens. Which of these 10 lessons hit you the hardest? Tell me in the comments. And if you want a book summary every week that actually changes how you think, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, the notification bell, never the brass one.